Good morning, it's Bailey. Today we're gonna talk about the hidden benefits of tomatoes. So, tomatoes are rich in this compound called lycosene. Tomatoes are rich in this compound called lycopene. And what it does is it acts like an internal sunscreen. It's known for its red color. So fruits like watermelon and grapefruit have it too. But it's found in tomatoes the most. There have been studies about this compound, and they say if you consume tomatoes on a daily basis, the risk for sunburn is decreased by 33%, which is a lot, I feel like. Lycopene is greater in cooked tomatoes. So if you have cooked tomatoes a lot, you would get a lot of sun protection. It does this by protecting the cell in our body from UV rays, so it protects it from damage. Lycopene is also high in antioxidants, so it's good for your overall health. Now I am selling 2 different types of tomatoes: Roma tomatoes and Brandywine pink tomatoes. Roma tomatoes are great for canning, and they're great for cooking because they're just very fleshy. Brandywine pink tomatoes, my grandmother loves because the skin is thin, so they're easy to eat and easy for her to chew. They're the best tomatoes for sandwiches and wraps and things. They're best eaten raw. But I also love Roma tomatoes raw. In my garden, like this morning, I saw a red Roma tomato and I just picked it off and just ate it. It's a good little garden snack. Now let's talk a little about growing tomatoes. As you can see, I have tomatoes spread out all over my garden. And even though there are so many tomatoes, shut up, chickens, gosh. I've not seen one hornworm. Now, if you don't know what hornworms are, they are disgusting, giant green caterpillars that are kind of pretty, but they're the size of your finger, and they eat your tomatoes and the plant usually. And then they turn into this giant, terrifying moth. I usually have them out here really bad, but this year I've not seen the first one, and I'm real proud. My secret for that is, well, a few things really. The first thing is that all of my tomato plants are so spread out. They may be next to each other, but there's many different plants next to them. Like, that's a tomato plant right there. And beside it, I have several different kinds of squash. I have okra. There's another tomato under there. There's zucchini in there somewhere. This is lemongrass. And there's zinnias in there. There's also radishes over there. And there's corn over here too. So a lot of different plants. Also very important that you have strong smelling plants near your tomatoes, because strong smelling plants will deter pests because they can't smell the tomatoes. Like this anise hyssop. It smells delicious and the pollinators love it. You can see right there I have the dreaded mint. And yes, it does take over garden beds. So it's in a little pot of its own. But that way it can be in here and deterring pests while it's not destroying my garden bed. And this sweet peppermint, I have it in a hanging basket. And look at it, it's just drooping and falling over. Perfectly healthy. That's just how it grows. Also, if that were in my garden bed, that would be all over the place as well. So it's in its own little pot, hanging up next to my tomatoes, shielding them. Now this bed, I expected to have some issues with, because there's so many tomatoes with each other, but I've not had any issues. I have one of the peppermint plants right there. On the other side, I have another spearmint plant, and of course this massive squash plant has just grown in the middle. Now, a lot of people have issues with what's known as blossom end rot, and it looks exactly how it sounds. I have no examples of this because it doesn't happen to me, and I'll show you why. See, look how perfect this tomato butt is. This one too. So what I do for my tomatoes to avoid the blossom and rot, also my peppers, is I take eggshells from my chickens over there. I crush them up, and then I add lemon juice to them. When you add lemon juice to crushed eggshells, it starts doing this chemical reaction thing, and it releases the calcium in the eggshells, so your plants can actually use it. You see, eggshells on their own can't be used by plants because it's not available to the plant. It has to be broken down, and even if you have like mushrooms and things in the soil to do that, it can still take like 10 years or so to do that. And obviously that bag makes a lot of calcium, so I just go ahead and give it to all of the plants. And I don't know for sure that all of them need the calcium, but I mean, you tell me it looks like it works, and I will keep doing it. Now I'll show you the tomatoes I'm growing. These are my tomatoes. My Brandywine Pink and Roma. So we have this entire month for the tomatoes to grow. September, that whole month, and October, probably that whole month, and then maybe a little bit of November. Depends if you want to cover them up from the frost or not. But I've been experimenting, and I found out that tomatoes can actually last down to pretty cold temperatures, just as long as you protect them from the frost. So if you cover them up with a plastic tarp or greenhouse wrap or something like that, or even put them in a pot and take them inside, they should be fine. Well, I hope you learned something today, and don't forget, eat your tomatoes. They're like sunscreen. Dissolve your eggshells in lemon juice. It makes your plants healthier. And don't forget to interplant all kinds of plants to avoid the pest problem with tomatoes. Bye.